Yes, today we're going to look at planning to teach biology. So, in planning to teach biology at senior secondary school level, what are those things or those materials that are needed by a teacher? So, the first one we're going to look at the senior secondary school biology curriculum. The senior secondary school biology curriculum in Nigeria was adapted and revised from 1985 edition that was developed by the Comparative Education Study and Adaptation Center, that's CESA. It is a guide it is a document that gives the teacher, the biology teacher, complete or maximum guide to what to teach in biology and how to go about teaching this content. We have the latest review, which is 2007. The objectives of the senior secondary school biology curriculum was derived from national policy on education, and these objectives are stated at the beginning of the curriculum. The content place emphasis on field studies, guided discovery, laboratory techniques, and skills, as well as conceptual thinking. The curriculum is divided or organized into four themes. We have organization of life, organisms at work, organism and its environment, and then the continuity of life. The curriculum approaches a spiral approach in sequencing the concepts. That is, the concepts are arranged in such a way that the concepts are discussed in detail or in higher or complex depths as the level progresses. That is, you have topics on, for example, on ecology at SS1 level as well as at SS3 level. But what will be taught at SS1 level will be much more simpler than what you have at the SS3 level. So this is what we mean by spiral approach. That is, you have the topics appearing almost at the same uh, level of senior secondary school. Now, the curriculum is divided into six columns, into six different divisions. And these divisions are the first column is topic, the next one is performance objectives, the next one is content, while the next one is the fourth one is activities. Activities, that column is divided into two again. You have teachers activities as well as student activities. Then after that fifth column, you have, oh no, the fourth column, you have another column, teaching and learning materials. Then you have the last column, which is the evaluation guide. Now, if you look at this, you will see that all these have provided the teacher with enough guide on what to teach and how to teach all those stuff. Now, the next thing that are needed in planning to teach biology at senior secondary school level is scheme of work. The scheme of work defines the structure and the content of the biology concepts to be taught, that is, to be taught by the teacher. So invariably, it is usually prepared by the teacher, while the curriculum is not prepared by the teacher. The curriculum is a document that has been prepared by the federal government of Nigeria through CESA. So the scheme of work maps out clearly how to achieve learning at specified time. It states clearly the activities, the resources, the strategies to be used in classroom lesson, and it is usually prepared on a weekly basis. You see, the scheme of work is usually prepared at the beginning of the term by a teacher, where the teacher, the biology teacher, whether SS1, SS2, or SS3, will list out the structure and the content of the concept to be taught for each week, the resources to use, the activities that will take place for each week for the whole of the term. Thereafter, another material that is needed in a planning to teach biology is lesson plan. Lesson plan is a guide to lesson. It specifies what a teacher intends to teach and how to teach that particular content or concept. It is a representation of teachers' preparation for a specific lesson. It is a detailed description of instruction of a lesson. That is a detailed instruction of a lesson. That a teacher has prepared to do. We have basic components of the lesson. This include preliminary information, instructional objectives, instructional materials, references, entry behavior, content, lesson development, evaluation, summary, assignment. Preliminary information are where you have information like subject, class, duration, topic, all those informations that you give before you give the details of a lesson plan. Then you have the next one, which is referred to as instructional objectives. The instructional objectives are also referred to as performance objectives or behavioral objectives. This specifies what the students should learn or able to do as a result of the teaching and learning process. That is, as a result of their exposure to the learning experience, what the teacher think or intend to help the students to achieve. And this has to be in the three domains of learning: the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor domain. It must be noted here that under the behavioral or the instructional objectives, we use action words. We don't use words like students must be able to understand, because you cannot measure. So you use words that can give you as a teacher an opportunity to be able to measure whatever you have exposed your students to. Then you have instructional materials. This includes teaching and learning materials. That is, the learning materials that will be used for the lesson. The teacher is expected to select the materials carefully. That is, you are expected to select the materials that will be used carefully. Carefully in the sense that the materials must be appropriate for the content, appropriate for the concept. At the same time, you also have references. Most times, references are the textbooks that you use for the lesson. Sometimes it may go beyond textbooks. You may use some other things. So this is where you list so other things that you use. But it is always advisable for a biology teacher, to use more than one textbook. We also have the next component, which is referred to as entry behavior. Entry behavior is also referred to as prior knowledge. Sometimes the entry behavior is the link, or whatever link the concepts explicitly to students' background experience, or links concepts explicitly to past learning and new concepts. That is, something that links the new concept you are teaching to what the student has been exposed to, maybe at home, or maybe it is what you have taught them before, or what they have learnt before in a lower class. Then we have the content. The content is the details of what to teach on a particular topic. And the lesson development, that is the way a lesson will be delivered. That is the step-by-step way in which the lesson will be delivered. The next component is evaluation, and this is to see if students have learned what you intended in your lesson plan. That is, in the evaluation must always correspond with the objectives. That is, the intended objectives, the intention that you feel that you want your student to be able to accomplish after their exposure. For example, if it's part of your objectives that students should be able to identify organisms living in aquatic environment. So when you get to evaluation, you can give them questions like list or identify two organisms that are found in an aquatic environment. That's an example of, an evaluation or an evaluative question that corresponds to the objectives. Then you have summary. In summary, that is where the teacher wraps up the discussion and answers all questions. Then you give assignment. The essence of giving assignments is to engage your student even after the classroom activities for that lesson. Another set of materials that are useful that we are going to consider here are WAEC and NECO syllabus. Now, these syllabi, they are your guides, or we say they are to guide students for WAEC and NECO examinations. So they are primarily prepared by the examination bodies. The WAEC syllabus prepared by WAEC, the NECO syllabus prepared by NECO. This syllabi are to expose students to nearly everything that they are to know about answering biology questions. And if you look at it, they are divided into actually 2 or 3 columns, maybe serial number, but you always have topic and notes. They are well organized, specific, and detailed. So in either WAEC syllabus or NECO syllabus, you cannot see anything like performance objectives. You cannot see anything like learning materials, because the 2 syllabi are expected to prepare the student only for their examinations. So the right thing for a biology teacher to use is that a biology teacher should use, or is expected to use, biology curriculum to teach, extract the scheme of work from the curriculum, and extract the lesson plan from the scheme of work, while the WAEC syllabus or the NECO syllabus is actually meant for students to prepare them for their examination.